All right, now, so if you're not new to my channel, you will know that we have spent some time talking about what's going on at DC, the crazy stuff that's been going on at Warner Brothers, and also talking about how DC could potentially improve what they're doing. James Gunn has now revealed the new DCU slate, and I want to get your opinions on it. Do you think this is an improvement? Do you think this is not? Do you think it's more confusing? Do you think it's less confusing? Let's talk about it. All right, y'all, we are finally here. A lot of people have been very curious about what it is that James Gunn and the rest of them over there at DC have been planning. And James Gunn has finally let it all out, okay? Let it all hang out. James Gunn has posted this video of him talking about what's upcoming. So initially, he started out saying that DC has been disconnected for a long time, and that's something that that's an understatement. I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm not. That is an understatement. DC has been disconnected for a long time. So he said that they want to make sure that the DCU is connected in film, TV, gaming, and animation. They want it all to be under the same umbrella, and they want all the characters to be consistent and to be played by the same actors. But then James said that if something happens to be outside of that, like outside of that continuity, outside of this consistent universe that they are wanting to create, and he gave examples like Matt Reeves' Batman or Teen Titans Go or something like that, that one Joker movie. He said that is going to be clearly labeled as DC Elseworld. And I think that's kind of a good idea. I think that's a good idea, especially because one of the main complaints is that there was just so much going on. We don't know. We don't know like how they planned on streamlining all this stuff. And I think that's a good idea. Like if your plan is to make sure that all this stuff is, you know, in the same continuity, and y'all got all this Teen Titans Gold, all this extra bullshit, you know, outside, just label it clearly, let us know what the T is, and that's it, right? So first James talked about the very, very near future, right? Shazam! Fury of the Gods is still coming. Apparently Mr. Levi done said something. I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into that. And I also think James Gunn said something like, oh, well, I can't just drop every actor, or I'm paraphrasing, but just like the people are gonna say stuff that I don't agree with and I can't just drop them or whatever. I'm just like, girl, I can imagine, James, that you would not want to come after people for their tweets. But that's not the story. That's another story. So they talk about Shazam. Then moving into the Flash, and this one is important because apparently, and it makes sense because we talk about the Speed Force and alternate timelines and all that type of shit, right? So they said that the Flash is gonna reset the entire DC universe, which I think is smart. And that, you need it at this point. A lot of people are just like, oh well, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening. Some people are saying that. A lot of people are happy with these plans, but some people are just like, well, I can't believe this is happening. It makes it more confusing. Resetting the entire universe. I'm like, DC needed a hard reset. What do you mean? Like it's an iPhone. It needed a hard reset. What do you mean? So after the Flash resets everything, then we're gonna go into the Blue Beetle film, and I can't wait to see more about that. I need a full trailer. I know it's so far away, I guess, but still. Then after Blue Beetle, we're gonna get Aquaman 2. So that's kind of the last of, you know, the DC universe that we've been used to, the DC universe that we have been roasting. So that's kind of the last of those movies and stuff. And then we're moving on into the 8 to 10 year plan that he describes next. And the first chapter of it, the first segment of it, is called Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, right? And James made sure to tell us that this was only part of this first chapter. What he was going to explain is only part of this first chapter and not the whole entire thing, right? So here we go. He lists what we're about to be getting, right? So the first one is Creature Commandos. Now, don't ask me what the fuck this, I have no idea what the hell this shit is. I don't know what this is. And we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm not gonna say nothing, but we just gonna have to wait and see. Maybe there are people who have a deep knowledge of DC comics and stuff, like the actual comics. I'm more of a movie kind of person, very light on the comics. I know what's going on lightly, you know, but I'm not a deep comic kind of girl, right? So if if someone knows, please leave in the comments, but I had no idea what the fuck this shit is. There's also something else before we get onto the rest of the things that he said, because he also mentioned these other shows like The Authority and something else with Booster Gold or something. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm gonna let y'all have it because these other things, these other projects really interested me. James went on to say that we're gonna be getting Waller, and that's a TV show, of course, live action, and she's gonna be with members of Team Peacemaker. And I think that's gonna be great. Of course, it's gonna be involving the magnificent, the incomparable, the talented, the black talent that is Viola Davis. I'm gonna tune in just based off the fact that it's Viola Davis. Now, there were some people who were, I saw a couple of people who were just like, if y'all gonna do Waller, why don't you just do Peacemaker, bring Peacemaker back? I'm just like, don't Peacemaker got their own shit, first of all? Second of all, and well, I guess, are y'all saying that y'all don't know if it's confirmed or not? Either way, second of all, I think this would be it's Viola Davis. What are you talking about? I know how amazing, and we all know how amazing of an actress Viola Davis is. Can you imagine how cool it would be to see Viola Davis as Waller with an actual script that kind of focuses on her now? Like before in the previous movies, she was just like, okay, Amanda Waller pops in, she pops out, but something focusing on Amanda Waller and the amazing acting skills of Viola Davis, I think you can't go wrong with that shit. Like, y'all gonna have to just stay mad, girl. Yeah, y'all gonna have to stay mad. I want to see it. Apparently, this show will be written by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, which is really cool, and Jeremy Carver, who was on Doom Patrol. So I'm very excited to see it. Honestly, you could give Viola Davis the phone book to read to me, and I will sit there and listen to the whole entire thing. I'm talking about, you need to go back to 2000, 1999, get a fucking phone book. Y'all talk about the Flash and time distortions and shit. Go back to 2000, go back to 1999, get a phone book, put it in front of Viola Davis, tell her to read it to me. I'm gonna sit there with some popcorn. I'm gonna fucking watch the show. Get out of here. It's Viola Davis, bitch. Don't play with me. Also, James Gunn talked about Superman Legacy. So he's writing this movie. He's in the middle of it. He said, this will be released in theaters July 11th, 2025. Remember, Safran said this. It's not an origin story. He said this about the movie. It's not an origin story. It focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. And I'm just like, okay, that's real cute. I know that y'all are not trying to give anything away, but a lot of the movies have focused on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. That's really the entirety of Superman's character. But I'm very interested to see where they're going with Superman and what they're going to be doing, because I still think it's a good idea to take Superman back to a younger kind of age and not let it be so much of an origin story, even though, like, obviously it's going to be some kind of origin to it because he's younger. But as long as it's not like retelling the story over and over, like, girl, we know he came from Krypton, we know he in this ship, we know he crash landed on the farm, like, girl, like, let's just get to it, right? So I think that's a good idea. I can't wait to see who they're gonna cast for it as well. Who do you think? Leave in the comments who y'all want to be younger Superman. Who do y'all want? And the movie's coming out July 11th, 2025. It seems far away, and I guess it kind of is. But once this year is over, we're going to start to see something, maybe not much by the end of 2023 or beginning of 2024, but we'll start to see something, but especially by the beginning of 2024. So, and I think this movie is going to be extremely important. Obviously, y'all know that it's Superman. It's going to be extremely important. So I really hope they pour everything that they got into it. The next thing, which I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle, is Lanterns. Apparently, this is going to be an HBO television series. I guess we kind of known that. But now, because before I had said that it was just going to, or I reported that it's just going to be Hal Jordan, or not Hal Jordan, damn it. It's just going to be Jon Stewart. But apparently they're doing Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan as well in the same, and other Lanterns, they said. Apparently, and I researched this a little bit, they said it's kind of in the vein of True Detective. They said that it's one of the most important shows that they have in development because it plays a really big role in lending to the main story that they're trying to tell across film and TV. I think this one is going to be a little tricky for them because, and a lot of pressure for them, especially after the last Green Lantern stuff that we didn't have with Ryan Reynolds. Like, oh my God. I think it's gonna be a little bit of pressure, but if they do it right, they could really snatch my wig up, and I think that they will. Especially, you got 2 really cool lanterns, and you got more. You're saying you're gonna put in more as well. It's just like you have to try really hard to fuck that up. And I mean, I don't put it past Warner Brothers, but I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be great. I can't wait to see. And this one I'm really excited about. They got to do it right, though. They have to do it right. And y'all got to have women writers on this shit, yo. Like, I'm so sorry. Y'all be so... And some of y'all have to have women writers on this shit. Y'all have to. Paradise Lost. It's going to be a TV series. It's the story of Paradise Island. Of course, Themyscira. James Gunn described it almost like a Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all the inhabitants of Paradise Island. Apparently, it takes place before the events of the Wonder Woman film, so I think that'll be great to dive into the history of Themyscira and what was going on and blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm going to reiterate, y'all got to have women writers on here. Y'all have to, and I hope y'all know that by now. And especially because you can't have Themyscira without lesbianism. Like, I'm so sorry, y'all gonna have to get over it. Y'all can't have it without lesbianism, and I just don't want straight white men writing any kind of story with lesbians in it. I don't. It's gonna turn creepy real quick. I know how y'all get. Please hand it over to somebody who queer woman. Hand it over to women, please, because y'all, this could be really fucking good. This could be really good. I do not want y'all straight men fucking it up. I really don't. I really don't. Y'all gonna ruin it. Please hand it over. So I can't wait. This one, I can't wait to see that. Really excited about this one. This next one I know will get other people really excited. I am not really a bat person, Batman, Bat family kind of girl, because I'm like, if you don't have, y'all already know me. If you've been on my channel, you already know that I'm like, if you don't have superpowers, stay your ass in the watchtower. You are Wade from Kim Possible. You need to give me the schematics. You need to give me the blueprints. You need to be on my comms. Why are you having no powers on the field fighting Doomsday or whatever the fuck? So either way, a lot of people will love this. And I think it's a great place to start, restart, whatever, with Batman, the Brave and the Bold. That's what it's called. It's a film. I was wondering which direction they were going to take with Batman. And they said it's going to be featuring his actual son, Damian, based on Grant Morrison's comic book run where Batman was introduced to a son that he did not even know existed. James Gunn said this is going to be the beginning of the Bat family in the DCU, and I think this is like, I don't know, these decisions seem like they're pretty smart to me, outside of like the I don't know, those obscure ones that I don't recognize. Like I said before, what was that first one? Creature Commandos or whatever, The Authority. And obviously James Gunn will do a good job of taking obscure characters, obscure teams or whatever, and putting them on the forefront and giving them good stories or whatever based off of what he did with Peacemaker and all that shit. Like, I know that, but at the same time, I just feel like these are good decisions. I'm sure people, like I said, I don't have a deep knowledge of the DC comics, so I'm sure people with deeper knowledge, much deeper, I mean, it's not hard to have a deeper knowledge of DC comics than me, but I'm sure people with an actual knowledge of DC comics and stuff may have a different opinion on this slate. But I think for the everyday movie watcher or TV show watcher kind of deal, the general audience kind of deal, I think that this is a really good direction that they're going in, right? And this last one here that I'm going to talk about, because he was also talking about Swamp Thing, and I'm just like, okay, girl, y'all really like Swamp Thing. I do not care for it. I do not care for Swamp Thing. Anyway, so this last one I'm going to talk about is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It's going to be based on the comics. They said they would turn that comic run into an epic sci-fi film. Supergirl in this story was raised on, okay, let me read this. So I think James Gunn said this: we will see the difference between Superman, who was raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, who was raised on a rock, a chunk of Krypton, and who watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life and then come to Earth. She is much more hardcore and not the Supergirl we are used to. So Yeah, you got me up. A Supergirl movie? Yeah, you got me up. You got me up. You got me up. You talking about hardcore Supergirl, and she's jaded, and yeah, let her come in and cause y'all already know how Kal-El is, girl. Kal-El just smiling all the time, let people punch him in the fucking face. Kal-El's the Boy Scout. Supergirl gonna come in there and start murdering bitches, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bitch. That's what I'm talking about. Supergirl ain't gonna be playing with Superman goody two shoes ass. I would love if they started, not started, but if we had a Supergirl versus Superman fight or something. I don't know how y'all can make that happen. I don't care how y'all make that happen. I want it to happen, and it needs to happen. I need to see it. So yeah, all of this stuff seems very preliminary. It seems like just an initial announcement. I'm sure as the years go on, or as this year goes on, we'll get even more information on this upcoming slate, and we'll get more details. We'll get trailers. We'll get behind the scenes stuff. All that stuff. Y'all already know that when those things drop, or things that I'm interested in now. When those things drop, I will be right here discussing them. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications. Y'all know what it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.